All right, here is just a mini course on how I build out my lists. I will say up front, the most important thing is that you have watched my how to plan out your accounts and select your targets video. It had this link on there with my flow chart that I had created. So hopefully you've gone through this whole thing already. If not, you kind of need to do that first and get to the portion where you are basically at these blue bubbles where you've decided kind of who the high value targets are, you've identified the ideal buyer persona, and then you've kind of started to split out your low value targets and your high value targets. And I usually do that by title, right? So at least for me and my job, I go after VPs and directors. That's kind of my high value targets. And then the low value targets are like senior engineers and managers. So if I were to start doing this up front, again, I might go to Wells Fargo. This is what I would do at MongoDB. Um, might be different for some of you, but I would just go function. I probably want us to get to keep it in North America. And, software or engineering function, IT and engineering. And then obviously you would select whatever uh, function you sell to. Where's engineering? There you go. And there's still going to be 22,000 people. Vice President. VP. No VPs. 1 second. Okay, let's do that. I think it's maybe different because at banks you have VPs, but obviously there's a lot of people here. You'd still want to come through their profiles and make sure it's relevant. But this guy's executive director of software engineering. Boom, that's the perfect title. So he's going to go into my high value target list. Sometimes I need to expand this out a little bit. There you go. Create new list. High value target. Wells Fargo. Create and save, and boom, he's saved in that list. Senior software engineering manager, executive director. Okay, yeah, he'll go in the high value target list as well. VP of application development. Boom. Head of engineering. Boom. All these guys, executive high value target. And then I might go to build a low value target list, I might go to experience manager. And for me, boom, I'll have my low value target list. And he's already saved into there. Low value target, senior manager, sure. So, depending on the size of your account, you may only have a couple people at the enterprise space, as someone who works only like 10 accounts at once. You're going to have massive lists and a ton of people to go after in a few accounts. So, there's pros and cons to both, but like obviously this list might be up to, even 100 people. But, after a while, I'll have 100 of high value targets, people who, if I get them on the phone or get them on a call, there's a good chance they can make a decision around my product. And then low value target, these guys are ones who are probably not going to be signing off on the deal, but uh, they'll be influential to the decision makers. And so on my future videos, I'll kind of show you the cadences I build out for each of these and the number of touch points I use. But yeah, it's quite simple. You just basically create a list within LinkedIn, and you can be more specific. Like if you want to go by a certain line of business, like if I wanted to go high value target, folks living in New York at Wells Fargo, if I'm trying to do a local event, that's what I would do there. And yeah, it's pretty adjustable. If you've never used Sales Nav before, it's super helpful. Hopefully your company pays for it. I don't know of many other alternatives to LinkedIn Sales Nav, other than I guess you could go on LinkedIn and it'll just be slower, but kind of just searching by profile, which might be more realistic if you have, less, if you have like more accounts with less people in each account. But yeah, that's kind of how I think about it. And then in my future videos, I'll kind of walk you through my messaging, mostly on um, calling, LinkedIn, and email. And then also, and maybe more importantly, the type of cadences I put each of these people into and different types of cadences I've created to optimize my workflow.
Do you want to become an account executive faster? Check out my school community. You'll get weekly live trainings, Q&A sessions, downloadable resources, accountability to stay on track, and access to a network of SDRs, account executives, and myself for personalized guidance. Go ahead and click the link in the description below to join now and accelerate your career.